Thank you. When Sir Edmund Hillary summited Mount Everest for the first time, he said, "It's not about the mountain, it's about ourselves." Can you remember the last time you were thunderstruck by awe? Unless you're less than 10 years old, you probably can't. But don't worry, because wonder is something that we can generate as a practice. In fact, that's what I've learned through my research, that wonder is actually a practice. Albert Einstein famously wrote that the greatest gift that we can give ourselves, the greatest, most beautiful experience we can have, is the experience of the mysterious. E equals mc squared wasn't developed in a laboratory. It happened when Albert Einstein was daydreaming. He wondered, what would the world look like if I was traveling alongside it, looking at it from a ray of light? In 1512, the famous explorer Magellan crossed the equator into the South Pacific, and everything he knew disappeared behind him. The North Star, which navigators used at that time, literally disappeared beneath the horizon. And from that moment on, the remainder of the journey was not based on maps or on instruments. It was purely wonder that drove them in the first circumnavigation of the planet. My own exploration of wonder happened in the searing heat of the Sinai Desert. There was a woman, a Bedouin woman, approaching from the distance, and she was dressed in these flowing black robes, and you could see nothing of her but her eyes. And when she got close enough that I could really see her, I looked into those eyes, and what I saw was a person whose frame of reference for being was completely different than my own. The way she thought of time, of love, of purpose, was radically foreign to me, and I was utterly thunderstruck. There was no certainty, there were no easy answers. It was pure, unadulterated wonder. And in that moment, a lifetime quest was triggered within me, even though I didn't realize it at that time. Years later, I was in Mongolia, which is a country that's 65% nomadic, and there, wonder happened daily. The vastness of the steppe, the eagle hunters, the deep hospitality of the people, all of it dismantled me and had me reconstitute myself as a new kind of human being. Wonder is a practice. But the biggest transformation was going to come later on. My mother called me up and asked me to take her on a walkabout. And when your mother calls you up and asks you to take her on a walkabout, you say, hell yes, right? So we were in Tuscany, going south, and we were driving. I was driving in the car. My mom was right next to me. There was this little cask that went by on the side of the road. And my mother, who was very talkative, suddenly quieted. And I just let the old girl go. And after a couple minutes, she turns to me and she says, "You know what? I just got monarchy." And I went, "Well, that's amazing, Mom, but what are you talking about?" And she said, "Well, here's the thing. Did you see that little castle that went by on top of the hill, that real high wall around it? The Duke or the Prince or whoever would have lived up in there. And then all the peasants lived below and they created the food and the wine. And if somebody invaded, they'd all go up behind that defensible wall until they repelled the invader. And that's the way the whole system of monarchy worked." And I said, "Yeah, but that's the way monarchies always worked, right?" And she said, "I know, but here's the thing. I'm 67 years old, and of course, I learned all those things in books. But I'm really only getting it today because I'm seeing it for the first time with my own eyes." And in that moment, I knew that I would dedicate my life to helping people trigger those aha moments for themselves. I wanted to be there when wonder struck. That's when I realized that wonder is a practice. And it turns out that science backs this up. There are 4 reliable triggers for wonder. The first one is novelty. The second one is vastness. The third one is cultural difference. And the fourth one is beauty. So for novelty, think new languages, new environments. For vastness, imagine yourself at the base of an imposing mountain. How does that make you feel? For cultural difference, let's transport ourselves to Bhutan, inside a Buddhist monastery where the monks are chanting. And for beauty, let's go to Italy, to the beautiful city of Florence at the golden hour. And this is why travel is so powerful, because it actually causes us to rewire our brains. We neurologically transform. Wonder is a practice. And here's what I want to leave you with today. Einstein was able to have those breakthroughs because he protected his sense of wonder like a sacred fire. And Magellan, his fierce commitment to wonder, actually drove to the rewriting of the world as we know it. Wonder isn't something that we need to hope for. Wonder is something that we can cultivate. Wonder is something that we can choose. Wonder is a practice. Here's my question. What is your practice of wonder going to lead you to? Thank you very much.